The Dwarves! A single-player, story-driven fantasy role-playing game developed by King Art and published by THQ Nordic and EuroVideo Medien, based on the best-selling novel by Markus Heitz, is set to release on the 1st of December. Welcome to my review of The Dwarves. My name is WTii. I have received a review key for The Dwarves for free, so bear that in mind when listening to what I have to say in regards to The Dwarves! Also note that I have spent 6 hours of game time spent on the Dwarves, so this is more of a first impressions video. However, I shall nonetheless divulge you with everything you need to know about the Dwarves. The video footage being used to make up this review only contains the first 2 hours of gameplay so as to avoid any major spoilers or hamper your experience should you choose to take on the game for yourself. Thanks to the successful Kickstarter project for the Dwarves, King Art Games received enough support to help the game come to life with hired voice actors and record parts of the music with an orchestra and choir to make for some epic soundtracks that will please the community keen to experience the atmospheric story-driven fantasy world that lies ahead. You're drawn into the story as you'll have to make choices that will impact your gameplay. Choose between 15 playable heroes, each with individual skills that complement one another as you combat hordes of fantasy foes on the battlefield. Yes, hordes! I use the word with great intent, as the Horde, H-O-R-D-E, system is the engine responsible for the physics-based combat system which allows you to go up against hordes of foes, Lords of the Rings style. You'll have to tactically utilize your hero's skills and the surrounding battleground environments to overcome the odds. Now, if you'll permit me to talk to you a little bit about my experience so far with the Dwarves, good and bad. First of all, the battles are great fun, huge epic sprawling fests of mayhem that you try your best to control. The hero's skills are clearly labelled and telegraphed to help you understand what they are and what they can do, and most importantly, how they can impact the battle, especially when combined with your other hero's skills. The pause anytime option is great to help you tactically plan ahead and understand the chaos you are thrown into. The music, along with the visuals of such a massive battlefield, make for a really atmospheric engagement experience. That's not a word. That's all one word. A really atmospheric, engaging experience. The camera with which you use to view the battles can easily be manipulated to zoom in and out, as well as rotate around your characters a full 360 degrees. This gives you a greater sense of the epic battle afoot, and is also very welcome for its practical purposes of allowing you to strategize the battle, which is a huge plus for me. It's a yes for me. Another positive note I'd like to jam in about the combat is the physics engine causing units to affect one another. Through abilities, you can knock back orcs and end up pushing goblins off a nearby cliff because of the physical impact these abilities and the units have on one another. Bear in mind your abilities can impact your other heroes too, and also knock them off cliffs, which is hilarious but fatal. Heroes and minions obey the laws of physics well enough that make tactical battle choices more impactful and fun to play with. If I was to critique anything about the battles, it would be the slight lack of interface options that could help you better understand the battlefield, so being able to see foes more easily would make for better snap decisions during the battle. For example, I didn't see an option to highlight the health bars for all enemy minions, so it would just show the ones you were engaged with. You could get around this a little bit by pausing and hovering area of effect skills over the masses of minions to look out for the weakest ones you'll want to strike next, because as you do this it highlights their health bars. But an option to toggle all health bars would be appreciated, and perhaps it can be rectified fairly easily in the future. When not on the battlefield, you'll feel just as involved as you experience the storytelling aspect that the Dwarves has to offer through a turn-based style gameplay using the world map. With a rich dialogue of choices, it's easy to get sucked into the game as the story unfolds, especially since the German and English clients are fully narrated and voice acted, meaning that every line is voiced, which really gives life to the story. Unfortunately, the other languages do not have the full audio voice acting experience, but at least they are provided for with full subtitles. However, this brings me on to my next point. Even though the voice acting is fantastic, some of the translation gets lost along the way, as the subtitle descriptions for characters sometimes do not match with the portraits that are displayed to portray them. which can be a little jarring to the storytelling. For example, when referring to the grey-haired man, you clearly see a brown-haired man and the woman is arguably blonde. The German voice acting is on point though, as you'll hear their version of the same event, which does match. Earlier in the story too, you are bullied by Jolison, in quotations, a young famulus, who is clearly bold in the game, but the portrait displays a slightly older male with a fine set of hair. This is very nitpicky of me, I know, which is why I can move past little things like this and get straight back into the story with relative ease. Learning how to move past my OCD, I do like how the game encourages you to throw yourself into the story as you explore the world map and read between the lines as you interact with your surroundings to get access to the best possible results. This is a neat feature of the game that rewards you for understanding and acting accordingly to situations it chucks your way, and thus be justly rewarded based on your responses, sometimes with gold, provisions, and experience. You can save any time whilst on the world map, allowing you to rectify poor choices or see what happens should you take a different route. Saving in combat isn't allowed though, but you are offered the chance to reset combat should things go wrong, which is very welcome, as the amount of times I've killed myself by knocking one of my own dwarf heroes off the cliff is starting to get a little bit embarrassing. I am definitely enjoying my time with the dwarves and can't wait to get back in it for more, so I plan to live stream the game over on my Twitch page, twitch.tv/WTii. If you follow me on that page, you might be able to catch me playing it live, and you can get a taste for it and decide if you want to give it a go for yourselves. So thank you very much for watching my review of The Dwarves. I hope you have found it helpful. If you have, make sure to give the video a big thumbs up and comment letting me know what you think about The Dwarves and anything I've discussed here today. Like, how are you enjoying the combat system, and are you loving the story as it develops, particularly through choices made on the world map? Thanks again for watching. This has been WTii. Subscribe for more, and I'll see you later. Take care.